Ecclesiastes 7 verse 12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. Call all Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem, Rakakadash, double honors to the elders and the apostles, a great millstone who rule well and teach well. Shalom to the hopefully elect men that scattered abroad, pushing the truth with all sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to you very few shalom to you very few sincere sisters, right, that's taking heed and getting order in these last days. So, brother, I'm on coming to the video. Lord, when it's edifying, first I'll show you the article I want to go into. It was from Daily Mail, right? And it says major U.S. bank was hit by a nationwide outage as users reported issues with credit cards. Right, and I just wanted to touch upon a couple of things. It's just a point that this is why, you have to put more so, I'm trying to say it a little bit better. Okay, this is what happens when you put all your eggs in one basket inside Babylon and great, thinking things are going to go back normal. You're not seeing the bigger picture. That's why the scriptures talks about how wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of our times, because look where we at. We're seeing tariffs is rising, pestilence rising, right? Famine, food famine, war, right? But really just speaking on the tariffs and this right here, right? Outages, power outages. A lot of these people have been so hooked on to America, even throughout other parts of the earth, right? Portugal just had, blackouts as well, right? But hey, these people cannot get inside their accounts, man. And that's what's going to make a lot of these people lose it, and this is another technique to bring in that MOTB. If you do want to keep your finances that's inside there, you got to receive this MOTB, But the thing is, with us having this knowledge, it already give us that hedge. It already gives us that head start of what's to come, right? We know these things are supposed to happen, and it's these are trial runs. These are trial runs. That's why we don't put our treasure upon earth. We don't build upon earth, especially inside another man's kingdom, right? It's impossible, to reap the benefits of that, especially when you know that these places are about to be destroyed, right? And I think that's in the book of the second Peter. Matter of fact, let me grab that right quick. Right, that tie along with what I just brought out, and I also want to bring it out in the NLT version as well. I think it's 2 Peter 3:10. All right, verse 11 is the point. It says, "Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons are ye to be in a holy conversation and godliness?" Right. So, how should we be walking? Getting this wisdom and knowledge, or still walking after trying to get some money, right? Which we know that's finna collapse anyway. They're finna come in with a digital dollar, a digital dollar, right? A grain of rice implant, and ultimately it all gonna get destroyed, by these thermonuclear missiles, right? So knowing those things, how should you be walking, right? Because if you're walking after the FRNs and the C-HIP, you walking towards what? Death and destruction, things of the world, right? That's going to be burnt up soon, right? But let me grab this inside the book of Ecclesiastes 7 verse 12 in the NLT. It says, "Wisdom and money can get you almost anything, but only wisdom can save your life." And that's real heavy. That's real heavy, because when the shit get real, them lights cut off, what's going to help you to be able to maneuver inside these times? The wisdom. See, the money is just only temporary. It's for now to get you day-to-day, day-to-day things. So when all hell break loose, we already going to adjust to that, right? Us brothers and you, a few minor sisters, we already going to adjust to this shift. Hell, we waiting on it. We anticipating. We hopefully it happened today, to where it just really go out. But yeah, and I'm gonna grab that inside Isaiah as well. But just wanted to touch up on this right quick. It says major U.S. bank was hit by a nationwide outage as users reported issues with credit cards. Excuse me. And yes, like I was saying earlier, excuse me. We we know these things are nothing but it's like I had a notification. We know these things are nothing but trial runs. You know, excuse me, these are trial runs. So I'm gonna read some of it. And I'm gonna just grab some more scriptures. It says the bank's website showed an error message. We've encountered an issue and are working to fix the issue. No, the details have been provided except for customers to return to the website 10 to 15 minutes later, right? So they ain't even got no answers. They just saying restart, hopefully it's back up, But it's perfect timing though. We just, like I said, this just had a widespread blackout in Portugal, Spain, France, They having blackout. So we already know we really at the door of what that MOTB really. All hell breaking loose. Right? You got you got that on the table. You got the tariffs, right, with China, right? We know that's gonna cause martial law. Cause once things start going up, niggas finna take it to the streets. Niggas finna take it to the next door neighbor. Job layoffs. Right? Martial law finna spring forth, man. And it just goes to show you, I know I'm all over the place, but it just goes to show you that, hey, man, that money is not going to hold, man. You need to try to chase this wisdom, knowledge, truth, and understanding of the scriptures, man. What the hell just happened? All right, I don't know what just happened, but... All right, well, I'm going to just keep moving along. But yeah, I just really had a lot of talking points just from different talking points just from this article. Grab some more scriptures. Just the book of Romans. (13 and 11). Right? It's Romans 13, verse 11 in the NLT. This is all the more urgent, for you know how late it is. Time is running out. Wake up, for our salvation is nearer than when we first believed. Right? So speaking to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, right? The Hebrew Israelites, according to the Bible, right? Seeing all these things are happening, power outages, tariffs, talks of war, talks of the MOTB, talks of famine, pestilence, right? Hey, knowing all these things, right? This Jacob's trouble, right? Hearing all of these things, right, is really showing you that the doors of mercy is damn near shut, and you need all the armor you can get to prepare yourself, right? And chasing money is not going to be, it's not going to clothe you for these times. That's why I say it's high time to awake out of sleep. Right, instead of chasing after the things of this world, right? You think you get up some and Esau find a way to come in and destroy your plan. It's high time to wake out of sleep, right? Hey, this is not our rest. They putting you, they showing strategy scenarios. They put them out there in front of you for a reason, right? They pretty much let you know it's finna collapse, man. So you don't want to get caught on the wrong side in transition. Yeah, man, we need them new bodies, man. I can't even remember what I was trying to go to. But I can go to this right here for the time being. Lord willing to come back to me. Just Isaiah, the water. Yeah, about Shemal Shah. Just Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6. Right, because it's speaking on the fact that, people are pretty much in disbelief. People are concerned. They real heavy. You know what I'm saying? They trying to see where their money at. Because these people are what that's their bread and butter. They this is what they wake up and go to work for. Nothing, like I would say, there's nothing wrong with going to work and getting your money. You gotta work, gotta pay your bills. But when I speak to our people, they're not ready to disconnect. They're not ready to put their more their energy, right? The main focus towards the ministry. Have that whole armor on, and waiting for this place to collapse, man. Excuse me. This Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation, right? Because when shit hit the fan, right, you're not gonna be caring about no money, man. It's about what do you know inside these scriptures. Do you have the faith that the Lord's still going to feed you, right? Because if when shit does hit the fan, niggas not gonna be trying to use money. You know what I'm saying? Money is gonna be worthless. It's not gonna hold no type of value. It's gonna be a piece of paper that's good to burn. Help start a fire. Right, but it says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, right? Going back to Ecclesiastes, right? It says both wisdom is good and money is good, but only wisdom can save your life, right? Because you know how to apply yourself. You know how to maneuver, right? Especially when it counts. It says, and strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure. Excuse me. So, Connor, I'm going to end it off right here in the book of Matthew, chapter 6. Right, matter of fact, let me bring this out right quick, 2 Corinthians 2:11. Right, because, hey, he's getting the people on edge, man, right? We know that what Scripture said, one people shall stand up to fight against another with swords in their hands, right? Hey, they're finding ways to get the people stirred up, They ultimately, hey, bring out that MOTB. A lot of us gonna go for it, They want their money, right? But 2 Corinthians 2:11, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes, right? And what we have been saying constantly is that they have to, bring in a new, they have to bring in a new system. So they have to collapse the old one, the one that we're currently in, and that new one's going to be more so digital, and we at that time period, right? They talk about the 2025, the 2030 agenda, right? This is the time to go ahead and get the ball rolling, so you're going to see a lot more blackouts, can't get into your bank, We telling you that, Hey, Satan will not outsmart. We familiar with his schemes, So Matthew chapter 6. And this is why we're not putting too much into Babylon, man, or wherever you scattered to, if you're Israelite, so-called Negro, Latino, Native, right? Wherever you scattered to, this is why we don't put all our eggs in this world, right? This world is supposed to go down. You want to put your things on what thing towards the kingdom, So when shit hit the fan, the Lord got you protected. This is Matthew chapter 6. Yeah, and 19. It says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. That's from any form, right? The government to a local Pookie and Ray Ray, to a local Edomite, another nation coming trying to, fuck you over, right? But laying out for your treasures upon earth, right? People putting so much money inside their bank accounts, and then boom, just like that, Esau didn't had a so-called grid collapse or an outage, right? And you can't access none of that stuff. And some people may lose some of their accounts, man. That's just the reality to it, This ain't Esau's first time doing no shit like that. Hey, Scripture says, I think it's in John 10 and 10, I think. But, the thief comes to kill, steal, and destroy. He come to steal, kill, destroy your emotions, kill your emotions. How you fired up, right? Steal your money, right? When it's really not money, it's just numbers. Especially when it's tied up a bank account, it's just numbers on the screen that you see. But it's verse 20. Lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, right? Where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also, right? Because, going back to Ecclesiastes, our mind is already pretty much is made up on trying to get this wisdom, knowledge, truth, and understanding. Because when this shit get real, this is what's going to really keep us stable, And the more we build up in the spirit, the Lord will not have it to where no man can take nothing from us. Come through and take our wisdom and knowledge, And we storing up our riches in heaven, So I'm gonna close out with that. Yeah, that was really that. Leave the link if any brother interested in taking on this lesson. But yeah, Lord willing, edifying. I'm gonna give our honor, glory, and praise to you. How about Shem Yahushua? About Shem Kakatash, and on to the next one. Shalom.